segment. Notre Dame. LSU's Brian Kelly. You hear what he said?
Yeah, he didn't like instant replay.
Says it's actually hurting or killing the game. I don't disagree with him. There are parts of instant replay and reviews that really get under my skin. 10 out of 10 times the call stands in the field unless it's an LSU call, right? Or is it just me? I just don't think that they like us up in the north, the guy up north in the box, I guess.
I think it's him. They call him the guy from up north.
Oh, here's how it was explained to us. If you break it down in the millisecond by frame, his hand is like, this is talking about Richardson, the Florida quarterback's hand being down or arm being down. His hand is slightly moving forward by a frame, of course, to talk about a forward pass or fumble. So if we're going to get to that level, it's amazing. Like instant replay is ruining the game. There are parts of it to me that are not helping me stay focused in on a game.
I used to like the college rule better. I now kind of lean towards the NFL rule because I think college has leaned on it too much as a crutch, and there's too many different reviews. I think they need to narrow it down like the NFL has. But I also think that you can have this, like I would like the NFL to have the sky judge, and I would like that to be a thing in sports now where they have a referee that just tells the guy, like, no, it wasn't holding, pick it up, or yes, 75 offsides, mark it out. You know, like those kind of things.
How many times have you seen a replay that they show before they even take review? How many times can you tell if it's almost targeting 100% of the time? How many times can you tell if it was targeted or not?
I'm about 50-50 because usually, like, the ones you get, like, the ones that are obvious, you're like, well, yeah, because his head's straight down and all that. And then a lot of it's like, oh, no, that's his shoulder. So, yeah.
Craig, how many of the targeting replays, I know you don't, maybe your reaction there, how many of those targeting replays can you tell almost immediately whether it was targeted or not?
I mean, I guess most of them. I don't know. But like, here's the thing is I'm sitting in a booth and I'm watching a TV that's 2 feet away. Like, I mean, I think that, you know, I saw some of the reactions to Kelly's comments, like, old man yells at cloud, you know, and there's certainly that party. And then there's some like, yeah, absolutes are in the game. Like, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I see, though. I'm not the official, you know, like, so if I can see it, then yeah, sure, they should be able to check that out quickly. It's part of the deal. It's part of the game. I do think it's out of control as far as, you know, killing time and making games far longer than they need to be. I know tomorrow that at some point in like the second series of that game, there'll be a 2nd and 7 where a guy runs for 1.5 yards and they'll stop down and they'll measure it to see if it's, you know, 2 yards rather than 1.5 yards on a 2nd and 7 on the opposite side of the field. And that's the stuff that I think is just ridiculous and stupid and is a total time waste.
I agree.
But if you get into a situation where it's a key call, then take the time that you need. I just don't know what all angles you're being given that are making you take 15 minutes long, you know, it feels like it at least, but taking 5 minutes longer than everybody at home who like clearly saw it already. That's what I know they're trying to get it right, but there's sometimes like it's just clear. Like you don't need to see it anymore. It's clear what happened, but yet we sit there for 50 more replays to see what we've already seen and known, and that's where I don't know what they're doing.
Here's my problem. They show a replay of a close call, a pick, a fumble, whatever, or a close to a first down. We see it immediately on TV. Or in our booth, if my television never works in front of me. But we see it immediately. People are lining up to take a snap. And the delay of saying, hey, we need to see that, when we are getting it immediately. And I know it's not easy. And I know that I think Bryce Cherry said something on a tweet during the game. I don't know if it's West Virginia or Oklahoma State. He was actually in the booth and watching kind of some of the protocol of what they go through. To me, it should be a lot easier to decide if you need a replay rather than the delay of a 40-second, 45, whatever it is, and they get ready to snap, and then here comes the whistle, and here comes the delay.
I will tell you one of the other problems, and not to be ageistic here, but most of the replay officials are retired referees who, you know, have knee replacements and can't be out there anymore. So everything needs to get younger. I'm not trying to push people out of their jobs, but the problem is the people with the expertise are older, so it's a little slower. And then you also have I don't understand, I get showing the referee the play after you've made the decision, but while you're making the decision, if he doesn't have anything to do with it, just tell him on the headset, hey, it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Both feet were in bounds. We'll show you this. Look, here's the angle. Boom, he's in. As opposed to kind of confusing him a little bit more and bringing him into it.
Yeah, there could be youth enthusiasm. I mean, you want to get me into retirement early as well. From John Bolster, a super chat for $1.99. College games are too long for several reasons. One of them, and correct me if I'm wrong if you're a former official or not, but when you used to go out of bounds, if you go out of bounds, no matter what time it was, how much time was left in whatever quarter, did it not stop the clock until you took a snap on offense the next play? Mm-hmm. Which is not always the case now because there's always kind of a running. Can you imagine when you have 35 or 40 first downs, how long a game would be if they didn't reset the clock and get it going once the chains are set? All right, 3:26.